Hey everybody, welcome to episode 265 of The Brink of Sanity. I am Jay, and with me is Marc and Bri.
Hey, Jay!
Hi, Jay.
Hi, guys.
My son, I'm going to break into a kid story because no one likes kid stories better than our listeners.
A new record.
This is not even a kid story, but
nobody likes our listeners better than Jay.
we can talk about that in a second. My son's like, which I've talked about. He's my wife is now screaming at my 2-year-old daughter because she won't go to sleep. My 5-year-old son, he was looking at it. He's starting to read. And he was looking at a book about Abraham Lincoln, and I was like, "Oh, Abraham Lincoln. He was a president of the United States about 150 years ago. He was one of our greatest presidents." And I was going to break into why he's one of the greatest presidents, and then I was like, "You kind of like," and I'm in a privileged place in the sense like I can keep my son in his bubble when he's this young. And like the world is so nice and wonderful, but at some point you have to like tell him, "Oh, Abraham Lincoln. Well, you know that black kid in class? He used to be a slave. We used to treat all 9 whites like they were subhuman. And our president's an asshole. Welcome to the real world." At what point do you like welcome them to the real world? Slowly, you have to like slowly let them in on and go like, "Hey, a lot of people are jackasses."
Does your son now think every white person is Abraham Lincoln?
No, he didn't ask me if Abraham Lincoln came to our wedding.
Oh, all right.
But there'd be a lot of white people to point to in the pictures. So
yeah.
Anyway, that was my. So Jay wants to go off on our listeners because they post questions.
I don't.
Like the questions.
I don't.
Jay's like, "I'm not reading the questions anymore. Whatever. These questions suck."
This is like a new thing for the show. Marc tries to start a fight during the show.
Jay started talking about off the show. I'm like, why would we keep it off the show?
We're just going through all our bits within the first 2 minutes of the show. We got the kids story out of the way, and then now we're gonna have Marc start a fight, and then we can move on to questions. The whole show will be over in like 3 minutes.
Perfect.
Isn't that what you wanted?
What kind?
There are so normally we get like 10, 12 questions. Recently, the last 2 episodes we've got. So this episode we have like 50 questions on Facebook. Some people have posted 10 questions each or 30 questions through different multiple accounts. I don't even know. And Jay wants to limit the questions to the good questions and not ask 20 times whether I want my wife to be double teamed by black men.
It's not that I want to limit the to the good questions because they're all good because they're asked by our listeners. It's that I don't want to do a 2-hour show every week. I'm cranky. The CPA is killing me. My job is an absolute nightmare lately, and I don't want to stay up until midnight putting the show on the air. I don't think that's very unreasonable.
Does this mean you did not do well on your last exam?
I'm still waiting for the grade.
Okay. When do you find out? Are we going to do a show that night in which you cry?
Sometime between now and February 7th.
Oh, that's pretty soon.
They said if you take the test by the 20th, you'll find out by February 7th. I took it the 9th, so I'm guessing like a week earlier, which could be any day now.
Okay.
So every time I get an email, I like freak out.
And what are they doing to you at work? Are they constantly telling you can't video edit?
They completely switched my roles and gave me a whole bunch of new stuff, and basically gave it to me near the end of the month and said, "Go, and if you make one mistake, we're gonna yell at you."
Wait, but you were doing billing. What are you doing now?
Billing. I had to relearn like an entire different section of the billing.
Okay.
So like,
do you get any credit when they pay the bill? Like, good job, Jay. They paid the bill. Here's some extra cash.
It's one of those non-rewarding jobs where, like, if I do it right, I'm supposed to, and if I make any mistake, it's like I'm terrible. So
you're like a hockey goalie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, hockey goalies, they get like nothing. Like unless they stop all goals, everyone's like, "Oh, you're terrible at your job." I let 2 goals by in 50 shots. Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, that's pretty much my job.
Yeah. Have you talked to them about maybe they can let you in on the bill? Maybe you voice that. Hey, I think I'd have a greater incentive to get these bills right if I say got like 1% of it. I'll take a little percentage out. My
be like a bounty hunter.
Right, just a little taste.
Maybe you can write the bills so they mail them to you, and you can like, oh, here's that money you guys wanted. Some might be missing.
Oh, yeah, they made the check out to me. So how much do I give back to you?
I do the billing, so I get them to send the money anywhere I want.
Sounds like one of those scam emails we get. We got the
Yeah.
best scam email this week. It was
Did that woman reply to me? Did you see I replied to her?
No, I didn't.
Okay. You want to read the scam email?
No, it's the usual. It's, relative died, left $3.5 million. Oh, we're going to give it to you, blah, blah, blah. The usual scam.
Cool.
But I wrote back and I said, oh, this sounds really real. And she wrote back and she's like, oh, here's a picture of me and my late husband. And it was a picture of George Bush Sr. and his wife.
It really is funny. Did you see my email back, though? Read my email back.
No.
I want to see if they replied. Here, you have the email open. Read it.
I don't have the email. Why are you making wild assumptions?
You don't have the Brink email. Aren't you the one person reading the Brink emails in the show?
First of all, the email is a Nick's email.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't realize which account it went to. Why don't you have them go to the same account?
Hi, Shirley. I am so excited. I just can't hide it. I know I want this. When can we speak on the phone? I will make copies of my bank account and social security card. Can't wait to speak. Best, Jeb Bush. Nice. That's funny because my first reply was from Bobby, and now you're writing back to Jeb. I
didn't even see you wrote back, but I like to make them as obnoxious as possible and see if they'll write back. We should get that Illuminati guy on the show again. Just call him, be like, "Hey, what's going on? we went back to Western Union. They'd never heard of you."
Yeah, just be like, "No, we've been practicing. I think we got it this time. Let's try and role play again."
Let's email him. Why not? Do we have his email address still?
I'm sure it's got to be in our sent mail.
Okay, we'll work on that. Hey, Bri, where's the psychic?
We're working on it.
She didn't know we were recording tonight? She sucks at being a psychic?
I talked to her earlier this week to try to get together, and she was busy all week, so I'll try to lock her down for like next week. The week after.
Could we cut to the conversation? Oh,
no,
Bri,
we're on Jay's got to get to bed, so we don't need to do that.
Bri, I knew you were going to ask me this question, Bri. And I'm busy. You should know that, Bri. But you're not psychic, so you don't know that.
That's right. I don't.
You don't have to ask me. Whenever you think about calling me, I'll call you, and I'll tell you when I'm free.
Okay.
Bri, are you going to leave your girlfriend for me?
No.
I knew you were going to say that. Do you think they say that a lot, psychics? I knew you were going to say that.
I would.
Yeah. Just be a total...
Why not?
Instead of
that's
what I thought.
No, you didn't. No. My psychic power is like I knew exactly what you were going to say, and I knew you'd say that too.
I knew you'd get annoyed at me saying I knew you'd say that.
Literally fight with everyone you meet. What's going on? Our president's a giant asshole?
I mean, who can prove if you're psychic or not?
I knew you'd say that. Anyone that talks to you because it's not real.
Yeah, are we getting the Trump website podcast going again, or?
Well, I mean,
I don't.
Seems like we quit that too early now in retrospect.
Yeah. No, Marc had a good point. I'm sure if we wrote about the inauguration during the inauguration, our site would have blown up because nobody else was writing about it.
Someone had a theory that we just need to release a big article on the inauguration and during the electoral college vote, and then our site would take off. I thought two postings in a matter of a month and a half time would probably work, and we missed the ball.
Yeah.
So there was an Onion article, which I thought kind of. So I feel like the Onion has nailed every president so far. Not every president, the last couple presidents. They had when George Bush, the W, came into office. They had some headline. It was like, George Bush will finally end our national nightmare of peace and prosperity, which kind of nailed his presidency. Obama, they had one. It was nation finally shitty enough to elect a black man. Kind of nailed his presidency. And this one they had. What was the headline? It was I will work tirelessly to live up to all my campaign promises. Donald Trump threatens nation. Which is kind of like the whole election. People that a lot of people were against him, and people that were in favor of him were like, he doesn't really mean what he's saying. Turns out, totally, we should just listen to what he was saying because he's a total crazy person. Yeah. Did you think what's crazier? George Bush attacking Iraq for no good reason, or Donald Trump starting a war with Mexico?
Well, he's going to declare war on Chicago. He said if Chicago doesn't straighten up, we're going in with the federal government or whatever.
It's funny because InfoWars was saying that Obama was going to instill martial law for the last 8 years, and Trump literally threatened it like his first week in term.
Yeah.
Well, two things. I guess Rahm Emanuel criticized him, the mayor of Chicago, and so this is Donald Trump's comeback to him on Twitter. And then also 240 people have been shot so far this year in Chicago. So when I read that number, I was like, maybe the government should intervene. That's a lot of people getting shot when the year just started.
Yeah, Chicago is like a friggin' war zone, so
they could probably use some goddamn help from the government. I don't know. All I know is that they should all watch The Wire because The Wire is a really good show, and The Wire reminds me of Chicago. They could do The Wire Chicago edition.
I don't know. Maybe they'll be like me and think it's slow and overrated.
Did you spend a lot of time in Chicago?
No, I was just talking about The Wire. Although Chicago might be slow and overrated too. I don't know.
The Wire is amazing. I'm just finishing watching that show, the entire show, for a second time. It's better the second time. It is such a good show.
Okay.
I'm just gonna randomly throughout episodes, I'm just gonna mention that until all our listener catches on. What's new with you?
Although I do have to say, Bri was absolutely right about Justified.
Yeah, it's really good, huh?
So good. I'm like,
I've never watched The Wire though, so I have no opinion on it. But I know everybody always tells me to watch it.
It's as good as television gets. It takes a little bit to get into, but I've never seen a show as good. And watching it the second time, I'm like amazed how good it is.
I would say Justified's way better.
What's way better?
Justified's way better.
The Wire. Yeah, sure. You're even the cast of Justified disagrees with you, but okay.
There's two really good bad guys in The Wire. There's already been 4 or 5 in Justified.
Justified's got some good bad guys. It's a great show. I really like it. I'm not going to sit here bashing Justified because it's 10% the show that The Wire is.
Oh, Jesus.
It's not even close. Game of Thrones is not as good as The Wire.
Okay.
Game of Thrones is great.
All right.
But
let's settle down on The Wire now.
I'm just saying, if I ever left you to do another show with someone else, it would be The Wire. I'd do a show. It would be Marc and The Wire do a podcast.
You'd finally figure out how to get less listeners than this show.
Well, I would just need The Wire would also have to figure out how to post the episode because I don't know how to do that.
Anyway.
What's going on, Jay? Did you come with no topics, and that's why we're gonna get to questions real fast?
No, I have a lot of topics that are just all about how I'm miserable.
There seems to be some unresolved tension between the two of you.
Is there?
No, there's no tension between us. I'm just tense in general. It's very hard to do a comedy show when you're stressed and angry.
So snoring. I went to go to the doctor this week.
Marc is the king of segues.
Whatever.
Speaking of snoring.
I don't know. Speaking of Abu Dhabi. I, in general, throughout my life, have not really snored, except for if I drink, I'll end up snoring. I'll lie on my back when I'm sleeping and snore. And it hasn't been an issue until about 6 months ago. My wife says it started becoming an issue where she's losing her mind, which I didn't know about for the first couple of months. Till one day she's like, "Marc, maybe you need to get a sleep test for your sleep apnea." And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" She's like, "You have sleep apnea." I'm like, what are you talking? I said, "You're snoring." I snored last night. You've been snoring for the last 3 months. I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking?"
One of us.
She'd been reading article after article about it, obsessing about it prior to talking to me about it.
Oh boy.
It's just all these things you could do. You could wear a mask. I'm not wearing a fucking mask.
Don't worry, you totally get used to it right away.
I can't. How did you sleep with a mask? Did you still wait, Jay? Do you still wear a mask?
I'm back on the mask.
What? You had the goddamn surgery and you're back on the mask?
I'm back. I started again this week.
I thought so. You had the surgery.
Yeah.
You took out the your tonsils and your uvula.
Yeah.
They took the uvula out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was the worst part.
I remember you saying that. So they take those out. You said you're not snoring anymore.
No. Nope.
Okay, so why are you wearing the mask?
Because I'm still not breathing.
Okay, go on, Bane.
It's there's two kinds of apnea, central and obstructive, and apparently when I got rid of the obstructive, the central's like, aha, time for me to take over. Now's my time to shine.
Is there any benefit to the surgery you had?
Yeah, not everybody has central apnea. That's why you got to get one of those sleep tests.
No, not for everyone. For you. You suffered for 2 weeks of torture. Are you any better off? Are you?
Oh, I mean, does anything I ever do turn out good?
So are you glad you had the surgery?
Oh, thrilled. I mean, what I wanted to do was go through a couple weeks of misery, get my hopes up about the weight loss, gain it all back, and then also have the apnea as well.
Did you gain it all back?
I gained every single pound back.
Oh, God.
Every single ounce.
How much did you lose?
I didn't lose as much as I thought I was going to. I ended up losing a total of 12 pounds.
Okay. You were like, I've lost 30 pounds. I'm like, are you going through chemo? What the hell are you talking about?
I lost 7 pounds in the first 48 hours or something ridiculous.
How do you even know? Do you weigh yourself a lot?
Well, I literally couldn't do anything else. So I'd get up to take a piss and weigh myself.
What'd you do, Jay? Well, I have to write it down for you because I can't talk. But I weighed myself 18 times today. Things are going well.
I mean, I couldn't talk. I couldn't really read or anything. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna weigh myself again and see what happened.
I think if you had posted on Facebook, it could have been the greatest Facebook post ever, just out of nowhere. I weighed myself for the 18th time today.
Although
people's responses are like, what happened to you?
Well, when I lived with those models, that the girl did that. She was I think she was bulimic. She would eat and then weigh herself and then run to the gym. It was.
But when I would try to diet and stuff, I would weigh myself. I would take a shit and then weigh myself. Be like, oh, I was only 0.3 pounds. That stinks. Thought that was a little more, but.
I've kind of sometimes in the morning you get a good one. You're like, I feel light as a feather. I probably could I could probably dunk a basketball.
Yeah, it was probably a 2-pounder or so, but no, it never is.
Yeah. There's sometimes I'm proud. It's almost the equivalent of being proud after childbirth. Do you ever stare and be like, wow, I did that?
I made you.
I'm gonna post that on Facebook. So I went to the doctor. My wife said I should go to get. She said I should get a sleep study, and I was like, well, to do a sleep study, I probably should see a doctor first and after she said an ENT, I didn't even know why I'd see an ENT, so I texted Jay, who said that's what you see. Went to the appointment on Wednesday. Missed half of work to do it, which was great. So apparently I have. Well, first also he gave me a list of things you go through, and it says surge. Oh, I have an enlarged uvula. No tonsil issue, but my uvula is enlarged. And my first thought wasn't that the thing that tortured Jay when they removed? And I was like, great. And he said he gave go with this whole thing. He said last resort is surgery. I'm like, should we schedule it right now? I know it's coming. That's how it always works. I remember having this elbow issue, and I had to work through this elbow issue. And they're like, no one ever needs surgery for this. We'll just work through physical therapy, and we'll work through it, and it'll be no problem. I had surgery. Mm-hmm. So I know I'm going to have the surgery. It's going to be and it'll be Robo Marc, as Jay has said off the show. It'll be Robo Marc. I'll do an episode. It fucking suck. Anyway, apparently I've also had I've had a silent sinus infection for the last, who knows. He said I could have had the sinus infection for months. And so he's treating the sinus infection and hoping that's the issue.
How do you have a months-long sinus infection?
He said I could have had multiple months, 3 or 4 months of the sinus infection and not known about it. It's like very mild, and he thinks like the bacteria or whatever causes. I don't know what causes anything. He's explaining stuff to me, and I'm like, "Speak English, doc." And apparently, it's something that could linger and like kind of go away and come back because you don't really treat it. And so now I'm on like 17. I have to take all these pills now. I have to do a nose spray, like 2 of these pills in the morning, 2 of these pills in the afternoon, another pill, another pill, like all these things.
Remember in our 20s when we were like indestructible?
I spent $40 on the copay, and then I spent another $60 getting all this stuff from the pharmacy. I was like $100. The snoring is not bothering me.
Like those 2 years I lived with Bri, I'm amazed that like we lived through that. Like there was like no sleep, there was like gallons of caffeine, like all the drinking, like it's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, just the Jolt Cola alone should have killed us.
Yeah, I mean, I would literally roll out of bed and drink a Jolt Cola.
I feel like coffee's got to be. I'm trying to cut back on the caffeine. So today I drank 1 cup of coffee in the morning and had I think 8 to 10 cups of green tea today. This is how I'm getting off coffee.
You know, green tea has like a huge amount of caffeine.
Don't fuck with me on the green tea. It has less than coffee, except if you like add up how much I'm having. I'm just like I want to be able to cut down to 1 cup of coffee because I feel like I feel like shit lately, which couldn't be a problem. It could be the sinus infection is making me feel like shit.
Could be a side effect from drinking so much green tea.
He said also like ask your.
It could be.
He's like ask your wife if you have apnea. I'm like she's not a doctor. What the hell are you talking about? But like have her listen to see if I stop breathing in the middle of the night.
Hey honey, could you diagnose
I
all
want
my
my wife
illnesses?
to make my medical assessment for me.
Yeah,
great.
Is it broken? I don't know. Ask your wife.
Should I get the surgery? I don't know. If your wife says so, yeah, I'll sign off on it.
I don't know. The mole doesn't look cancerous, but your wife probably knows better.
It's like, why am I paying you?
I don't know. He ran so many tests on me. I'm like, I don't know. Are you late with your son's tuition? What are we doing here?
I can't wait for you to get that sleep test.
I know that's next. So if this does not, I'm supposed to go back in 2 weeks. If the snoring is not better, I guess the silent sinus infection should clear up. But if the snoring is not getting better, then we do a sleep study.
You know, this is just redemption for making fun of me all this time.
Oh, obviously. You know what's coming next? After I get the sleep study and have the surgery, then my dream's going to be broken about becoming a video editor. Yeah, I mean the sleep study. You sleep there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And how does anyone sleep there and be comfortable?
Yeah. Oh, it's not. It's one of the worst. It'll be one of the worst nights of your life. I can't wait for you to get it.
Oh God. And the guy's like, and he said other things like, don't eat 2 hours before bed. I'm like, I don't know how that's possible because I get home, put the kids to sleep, then I eat, and then I go to unless you want to go to sleep at like midnight.
Oh, he meant like ever again?
Yeah, he's like, don't eat for 2 hours before bedtime, and drop 5 to 10 pounds. Which didn't even weigh me, just like drop 5 to 10 pounds. That's just a solution.
Okay.
I'm like, great. I'm like, I came home like spent $100 today. I have to drop 5 to 10 pounds, and I might have to sleep there one night, and I'm sure they're gonna cut my Aldia.
And you're actually gonna have to sleep there twice because once they find out you have the apnea, then you have to go back and sleep with the CPAP on.
Yep.
Oh, I'm not wearing. She's like, there's a mouth guard you can wear. I'm not wearing the goddamn mouth guard. She's like, well, I'm just trying to help. That's not really helpful.
Make sure you get there 2 hours early because it's going to take about 45 minutes to an hour to put all those plugs on you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bri, you had the sleep study too, obviously?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did they say for you?
What's that?
What was the result for you? You didn't have the surgery. What was the result?
He had apnea.
No, but I have sleep apnea, so they gave me the CPAP thing.
So what is this?
I haven't worn mine in probably 3 months.
Do you snore?
Yeah.
Does your
and
girlfriend...
I can't sleep, but I can't sleep, so there's no reason to wear it. Like I physically can't sleep.
Yeah,
so I could just lay there with it and just get annoyed, or I just don't wear it. And I haven't been to I stopped going to my sleep. The last time I went to my sleep doctor was probably about 5 months ago now. I was supposed to go every 3 months. Last time I was there, I was like, I waited 45 minutes. He comes in. He was in and out of the room in 2 minutes. And he was like, he's looking at my chart, and he's just like, because there's like a little chip that's in your machine that you have to bring to the doctor, and it prints out like a chart of, you know, your usage or whatever.
Yeah.
And I purposely did not use my machine for like a week and a half before I went. He looks down and he goes, "Oh, it looks like you're using your machine." And I was like, okay. He's like, "Any problems?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can't fall asleep." He's like, "When do you go to bed?" And I'm like, "I don't know, like 10." And he goes, "Do you exercise before bed?" I go, "No." He goes, "Why don't you try exercising before bed?" And then he left. I was like, "Fuck you, I'm never coming here again."
That sounds like a terrible doctor. You know, if you
I'm like-
said you do exercise before bed, he was going to say don't.
Yeah, it was gonna be.
I'm like, I don't fucking need that shit.
Do you eat before bed? Yes. Don't. I mean, no. Do.
I'm getting paid for this.
He's like the nicest guy in the world, but like he's just a horrible doctor. And I'm just like, yeah, I have no use for you anymore.
Why don't you?
I'm having trouble sleeping, Doc. Wear a mask. How's it gonna help? I don't know. I just want to see if you'll do it.
Considering like this is like a serious health condition, why don't you go to a different doctor instead?
Yeah, I'm going. I stopped going to all my doctors, and I need to find some new doctors now. So
How often do you guys go for physicals?
Once a year.
I haven't had. I don't think I've had a physical in 10 years.
Yeah, I haven't had one in like 5 years at least. You go once a year. That's pretty good, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, every once a year, I like somebody to call me fat and tell me to exercise.
The problem is every time like my doctor, I had this doctor like when I was a teenager for the longest time, and then he retired, and then I didn't go to the doctor for like 5 years, and it was a PA, and it was this woman. I really liked her. She left. Then this other doctor came. He left. Then this PA guy came. I didn't like him, so they sent me to this like doctor who was like, she had an accent. I don't know where she was from, somewhere in Europe. I couldn't understand her. I kind of liked her. She left. Then this new doctor came who looked like my girlfriend from college, who was a real bitch. And I saw her twice. And then I saw in the paper like right around December that she left the practice. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go to a new office then because everybody keeps leaving.
How do we get rid of doctors? Ooh, make Bri their patients. No, I'll give up.
She really was the worst.
This last doctor rolled her eyes at me when I asked her a question. I was like, okay, I don't need to see you ever again.
What did she roll her eyes for? What was her?
I was meeting with her and she was talking about sending me for blood work. So she was like, oh, we're going to check you for this, check you for that. And I had been feeling really shitty at the time. And I was like, can you test me for low testosterone? Because I used to have those stupid commercials on, like, and I was like, oh, I fit all those qualifications. I have no sex drive. I'm tired. I have no, I'm getting fatter by the moment. And I was like, can we do a test for testosterone? And she literally rolled her eyes at me. She's like, I don't think you have that. I was like, well, can we check it anyway?
Wow.
Fine.
Well, it's got to be annoying as a doctor because maybe it's pretty obvious to her that you don't. And she's like,
yeah.
Great. Now everyone comes into my office and plays doctor. Can you check
I know. That's the problem with those commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a way to do it and there's a way to not.
Well, you could be an asshole or you could be a normal person, and she chose the asshole method.
Yeah.
But maybe yeah, I don't know. Maybe a lot of people ask that question, like that in particular. And she's like, no, you're just sitting around being a slob. You're not, or whatever. I'm sure that would be a nice way to phrase it also.
She probably would say that. She sounds like a great lady.
I don't know. I don't know why I don't go for it. I just don't go for. I'm not even. It just seems like a lot of effort to go get yourself checked out. So I just don't. And I guess at some point I should.
I just I paid $45 copay for that guy to tell me exercise before bed. Like I could have got any asshole I know to be like, hey, maybe you should exercise before bed. Like I don't have to waste my $45.
I've been told not to exercise before bed.
Yeah.
When I exercise for bed, and I do that, like it's not as easy to go to sleep.
No, when I had like a basketball or volleyball game before bed, I was always up like an extra 2 hours.
When did they start sticking their finger in your butt?
I think
40, 50,
40 or 50.
That's gonna be great.
Coming soon.
Oh, you could lose weight and now bend over.
They do that at a sleep study.
You're kidding.
No.
What?
Yeah, well, they gotta make sure everything's okay. It's like a full body test.
No, stop it. You're just full of shit.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Wait, are you for? I don't even want to Google this because they don't stick your finger in your butt for a sleep study.
Google
because
sleep
I'll
study.
tell them, why
finger-
can't I sleep? Your fingers in my goddamn butt.
They put the CPAP machine on. Mark just bends over, drops his pants.
Okay, stick it in. Sir, sure. Your finger's kind of big. They also gave me one of the pills they gave me to take. They're like, you should take this once a day. Side effects are it can make you irritable and have you have trouble sleeping. And I was like, you're gonna cure my snoring by not letting me sleep?
It's like you or your wife can sleep. Choose one.
We have an extra, like, we have a bed in this room I'm in, the office, our house, like our fourth bedroom. And so sometimes it gets bad and she just like, I wake up and she's in the other room and I'm like, is she gonna like permanently sleep in the other room? That'll like, that's not gonna be good for a good marriage.
Fourth bedroom. God damn.
Yeah, really.
We've talked
That was
about,
the highlight of what.
where do you think I'm doing the show from?
I
Our
don't
roof?
know. I don't know. Your guest home.
We have a 4-bedroom. We have 2 kids. They each have their own bedroom. Wife and I have a bedroom, and we have a bedroom that is our office for working from home / our guest bedroom with a queen bed in here. It's comfortable.
I bet it is.
Yeah. How dare I have a 4-bedroom house? God damn it. Oh, Mr. Lottie Dottie Richland having 4 bedrooms for his family.
Those are just the rooms you're counting as bedrooms. I'm sure you have a study, a sitting room.
Oh, yeah. I have all the rooms from the game of Clue. We actually play like live Clue here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and we usually kill a servant to make it more real.
Mark has his own purge like every weekend.
Oh, Butler Jeeves, I'm going to have to kill you with the candlestick today.
I'm not invited because I'm too poor.
We get invited, they're gonna hunt us.
Yeah.
Speaking of my servants, our nanny ran a stop sign the other day and got a ticket, which is great, with our kids in the car.
I was about
Did you
to
get
ask
deported
with your kids
from the country, or?
I don't know. Trump probably will deport. I think she might be a citizen. I don't really know. I'm pretty sure she is.
What kind of
But
person has a nanny who's a citizen?
Trump might deport her anyhow, because like he's just like, we got confused. We just deported all the brown people. Barack, you got to go. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, and she's like, oh no, I stopped at the stop sign. I'm like, well, according to the cop, you did. So, sure, great.
Well, maybe it was. Maybe she got framed by the rival nanny again.
Yeah, maybe she got framed by one of the ghost shoes that she was like not sleeping with anymore.
It's a nasty breakup.
Yeah. So that's what's going on with me. I am probably on my way to having my uvula ripped from my throat and not be able to talk for 2 weeks. My wife said, "Oh, I'm not." She's like, "I would never make you do the surgery." I'm like, "Really?" No, I'd never make you do the surgery. Really? She's like, "No, we'll try all the other things first." Great.
Yeah, you're definitely getting the surgery.
You just sign me up. I just like I might as well just schedule it while and after all the pills the guy was explaining me everything I have to take it all day. I'm like, can you just rip my uvula out right now and make this easier? Because I don't even want to figure out all these things I have to take it out every night now.
Well, I mean, you could also get the machine and the finger blast.
So you wear the machine on your face and they come to your house and stick their finger into your butt all night and that helps.
That's optional.
What's the finger
Helps you
blast?
get to sleep.
I told you they have to give you a prostate exam before they do the sleep test.
You're a liar. Yeah, that'll be exciting when you get to the prostate exam. That should be fun. Jay, you're slightly older, so you should go first, right? Aren't you a year older than me?
I think so, and I'm like a month older than Bri.
Jay
You're
goes
a week and a
first.
half older.
A week and
you're
a half.
first,
That's
Jay.
right. Yeah.
While I stick my finger in your butt, you want to tell me about your hopes and dreams?
Yeah. Not looking forward to that.
That should be awesome.
I hope it's 50 and not 40. Because 40 is coming up way too quick.
Yeah, I don't even like the whole like people do big celebrations for their 40th birthday, and I'm like, Are you want to do a big celebration for your 40th birthday?
No.
I felt like Did you do a big celebration for your 30th?
I don't even remember.
Right?
No, I didn't.
My wife threw me a surprise party. It was actually pretty cool. But like 40th, I'm like, it's your 40th.
I want my 40th to be my funeral.
Jay, do you think we'll be able to broadcast live from Bry's funeral?
Yeah. The new phone has GarageBand on it.
Oh, okay, cool. So, Bri, we'll record live at your funeral.
Sure, that'd be great.
Should we put you in the credits?
I would think so. I should be a producer of that one.
It's I'm Jay. I'm here with Marc and almost Bri.
It'll finally be the episode where people ask me questions.
Yeah.
We'll get to meet your girlfriend. Hey, we've been dying to meet you. Why are you crying? Oh, yeah, that. Sorry. You want to come on our show? Well, you should have known this was coming. You should have talked to a psychic friend.
We volunteered to speak at the funeral. We just ask everyone for iTunes reviews.
Bri, he was a great man. We have extra large T-shirts. Bri T-shirts? No, Brink of Sanity T-shirts. Buy one.
There's only like 3 left.
You could put Brink of Sanity right on the casket if you want.
Steven breaks into the country to get to the funeral.
I guess we could go to some questions now.
I mean, I have a lot more to talk about, but we have a lot of questions too.
Do you
Are you sure we have enough time to rambling, Jay?
Well,
Um,
I don't get why I can't be cranky once in a while on the show.
I know it's not like me and Marc make life difficult for you on the show.
So Jay, here's the thing. So your hopes and dreams for being a video editor did not work out. CPA thing's going.
I mean, we've recapped this a few times.
So
already.
here's the bright side. Here's the positive side of life. Here's the positive side of life. You don't wake up because I was thinking about certain problems people have, and like obviously not having like a legs or arms or whatever, pretty bad. Or having like a crack addict mom is pretty bad. But can you imagine going through life and like you wake up in the morning and the first thing you think is, oh, I wish I had the other genitals. I wish I was a woman, not a man. Because there are people that like obviously there are people that like have sex change operations and like really struggle with this. And I can't imagine like the first problem you have every day is like, God damn it, I have a dick. It's like, what's going on? You're sitting in a bad mood. Oh, I look down, I still have that dick.
Yeah, I guess that would be pretty annoying.
That would be. I mean, how much bigger? Like, people are like, "Oh, I missed the bus. My boss is an asshole. God's an asshole to you." You're like, "I'm the wrong fucking body." I just feel like that would be probably a pretty shitty way to start the day.
Every time you go to the bathroom, you're pissed off.
Oh, good news! I'm thinking about a doctor sticking my dick inside my body and calling it a vagina. It's gonna be wonderful. I look nothing like a woman. I'm gonna wear a wig and have society ostracize me.
Somebody just joined the chat room as you said that.
Oh, I'm just announcing my future plans. But isn't that like it's got to be the worst? Brian, can you imagine? Think of everything that annoys you in life and things that like whenever you think of your life, can you imagine just adding to it that you wanted to be a woman?
Yeah.
Oh, if I ever do the clip intros, that'll definitely be yours.
I mean, that's got to magnify everything. That's got to make everything else seem like a small problem in life. Like, there's nothing else. Like, nothing nothing your friends gonna be like. Oh, you know what sucks? Like, I posted something on Facebook and like no one liked it. Oh yeah.
Likes, yeah. Well, I still have a dick.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that person's dick is bigger than yours, and you're like, "Ah, you motherfucker."
Yeah, I was gonna post my dick on Facebook, but I don't even like it. Yeah. Yeah, that's just gotta be awful. Like, it's people have all these problems. Oh, you know what? Like, people have the iPhone 7, but there's no like headphone jacks. I don't know if I'm gonna get the 7. Oh yeah, you know, I don't have a vagina. That's my problem. I'm in the wrong body. I'm living a tortured life. But oh, you can't use headphones. I'm sure that's pretty bad also.
Mm-hmm.
So,
could maybe like they'll have like athletes come visit like these guys like before at the hospital, like before the surgery. Oh,
Make-A-Wish
yeah,
things.
Yeah. Oh, Jay, I must have drawn the short straw in the Make-A-Wish thing. So you're getting surgery to become a girl. Hope that works out. What kind of girl things do you want to do? Oh, yeah, I'm playing the Super Bowl in a week. But that's I mean, hopefully I don't lose the game. But not being a woman is much worse. It'd be worse than that. Like, what do you even say? What if your friend came, like Bri comes to you, Jay, and goes, "I want to be a woman." What kind of support would you show for him?
Not much.
I mean, he'd have to be on like every show, every podcast going forward.
Oh yeah. I mean, that would definitely top the film editor thing.
That would be like the show would be brought to you like Jay would be the main, like, I mean, Bri gets his name mentioned first in the credits.
You'd be like,
with Brianna.
Jay can't be a film editor, although I guess there's an outside chance. But Bri will never have a vagina.
Bri, and like you're like, if the surgery's expensive, and I don't think it's necessarily covered by a lot of insurance, so. Bri's like, oh, Bri, why are you working you're working like late. You're really putting a lot of effort at work. What's been motivating you? I want to get rid of my dick and get a vagina. I'm sorry, what, Bri? Oh, I want to be a woman, so I need to like save some extra money. So I'm trying to do some overtime here. Oh,
that'd be a fun conversation to have with your boss.
Yeah. Where's that on Undercover Boss?
I want to be a woman. I just own Panera Bread. I want nothing to do with this. I'll see you later.
All right. So Lorenzo writes, Hey, Bri, what are your thoughts on the new podcast trend where people are releasing podcasts breaking down famous films minute by minute? For example, Back to the Future, there are 116 episodes, each about 48 minutes long, one for every minute of the first movie.
Really? I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
I might have to listen to that. Here's
the thing. Here's a very important thing about this. There are a lot of like school shootings and a lot of shootings like they're going a trend. I guarantee if you take the people that hosted that podcast and lock them up, we'll have one less school shooting.
It is
why? Why? Because they won't be in school that day? Is that why?
Well, it's fucking insane to break down every minute of Back to the Future or any movie and have an entire podcast about 1 minute of a show. I think at that point you deserve to at least have your gun rights taken away from you.
You think it's crazy to have 100 hours talking about an hour and a half movie?
I understand if it's 100 hours about The Wire, that would make sense to me, and I could break down The Wire. I can probably do 6 or 8 podcasts. I could do at least a couple podcasts per episode. So, but Back to the Future would be insane.
Really? Even the first 7 episodes where like literally nothing happens?
So much happens. You have to be really involved in the show. The show is so good.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to admit. I mean, obviously, I probably could do an episode. I probably could do a podcast going like one episode per podcast of The Wire. If any of our listeners know how to post a podcast and make one and want to do a show about The Wire, I'm down.
I would listen to every podcast breaking down every scene of every movie ever made if it meant Hollywood would stop remaking movies and TV executives would stop making TV shows out of movies.
Well, if you're going to do podcasts about that stuff, then I'm sure they're going to be like, oh, it must be popular. Let's make Facts of Life the movie.
All I'm going to do is trash them. Like, there's a reason that movies are movies and TV shows are TV shows. Like, just off the top of my head, there's a show now. There's Lethal Weapon, which was a movie. Now it's a show. There's Shooter, which was a movie, which is a show. There's Training Day. There's
Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck. Something else I just saw was coming that was a movie. I'm like, there's a reason it's 2 hours because that's all you fucking need for the story.
Or they all just take a movie with a white lead and put a black person in the lead in the TV show?
Well, it's just recycled every idea, which is fine.
I just don't
get it. It's terrible. That's what they do.
They should remake like movies from like the 80s that they want to remake. They should remake with the same cast. Like, just redo it now.
I think they should only remake it if there was like limitations that made the movie not as good as it could have been. You know what I mean? Like I feel like.
So you're saying if they make a bad movie, they should remake it and make it better?
No, it didn't necessarily have to be a bad movie, but maybe
they should remake the Star Wars prequels because those were terrible.
Right. They could remake those.
So you want them to reboot Star Wars every couple of years like they do with Spider-Man?
No, keep 6 through 6.
No, I'm saying the prequels are going to reboot like certain episodes of it. We'll make a better episode of it.
Yeah.
That'll get so annoying.
because 99.9% of the world knows those 3 movies were shit.
Right.
Right. You really have to do them. Like, you have to tell the story. It'll be shitty. They redo it. First of all, anytime they redo something, it doesn't get better. What have they redone that's gotten better? Like, are the Spider-Mans better?
Ocean's 11.
They redid.
I never saw the original, but the Ocean's 11 was good.
Oh yeah. Well, that's in fairness. That's like redoing something 30 years later. I understand that you have a movie 30 years ago and you want to redo it. That's fine.
Mark, the 80s were 30 years ago.
What was it?
The 80s were 30 years ago.
Is that what Ocean's 11's from?
No, Ocean's 11 was from Sinatra.
You're arguing
whatever.
against remaking 80s movies, and that's 30 years ago.
I can't believe 30 years ago, because obviously it's 30 years ago because I'm alive. Yeah, 50 years ago. When was Ocean's 11 out from? What year was that made?
The original?
The new one, or the original was
early
60s, probably.
Yeah, early 60s.
And when did the new one come out?
Late 90s?
2000 2 or 3.
Oh, like 30, 35 years later?
Yeah. I said if you could make it better due to technological improvements, then you should.
How about just have original ideas and make original stuff?
Or that.
Yeah, well, whatever. They're going to... Apparently, they don't give a shit that people get annoyed that they make the same stuff and like turn a movie to a TV show, a TV to a movie, and like same ideas over and over again. Apparently, Hollywood's like, we'll throw our money at that. It sounds good.
I don't get why they don't, because I don't get why they still do it, because most of these 80s remakes bombed. Like the new RoboCop, the new Red Dawn, the new Ghostbusters, they all bombed.
Do you think it'd be setting the women's movement back if they don't make a second Ghostbusters with women?
No.
There was an article I came across that was like, it'll set. I mean, we may have talked about on Brink, where they said they have to make a part 2 or else it'd be unfair to women.
Yeah, I think you sent me that article, which is just ridiculous. It's like you guys dropped the ball and made a shitty movie. What happened to Ghostbusters 2 was kind of shitty, and they didn't get a third movie. You make a shitty one, the series stops.
Yeah, I mean, and who cares? It's a ghost. It's not like this is not a March on Washington. This is Ghostbusters.
Which is, it kind of confused me that the second one was bad. There's so many possibilities with Ghostbusters. Like, they could have done a ton of those.
Yeah, but I also don't even want to see a ton of them. I want to see like 1 or 2 movies. If you want to make a ton of them, make a TV show.
Well, the real Ghostbusters was amazing.
The real Ghostbusters?
Yeah, that was the cartoon.
Oh, yeah. I actually used to watch the cartoon.
There was 2 sets of Ghostbusters cartoons in the 80s. One was called The Real Ghostbusters, and the other Ghostbusters was actually based on an original Ghostbusters from like the 50s.
I never understood how they had different. I didn't look into this, but Jay is a master detective. I never realized what the other one came from.
Yeah, the 50s Ghostbusters had a monkey in it, and so did the crappy cartoon.
I liked them both, actually.
Really?
They were both different takes on the Ghostbuster cartoon. Also, you know what? When I was 7 years old, my taste was shit. So I liked it. I could stare at anything on the television and be like, "Oh, you're my daddy."
I guess I was a little more sophisticated. I did not like that other one.
I was kind of fine with whatever was on the TV. I mean, at some point I watched Sesame Street. At some point I watched whatever was on.
I also got super pissed when Dave Coulier took over the voice of Peter Venkman.
Oh. I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah, season 3.
Have you watched Facts of Life recently?
No, but I'm sure it's an absolute disaster.
I watched one, I mean, a couple years ago. I watched an episode of it. Like, it was on. It is unbelievable. Like, at one point I watched it and I liked the show and thought it was, I mean, I didn't say it was like well written, but it was something I would watch when it was on. And it is almost, it's written by a 5-year-old who has brain damage.
That's why I'm not watching Perfect Strangers, because I loved that show as a kid, and I am pretty convinced it was terrible.
Yeah. Are they remaking Perfect Strangers?
You know what? If they did, everyone would just call it racist.
And Trump would be like deporting the stranger.
Yeah, last one episode. Balky gets deported in episode 2.
But aren't they? They did a second season of Full House, and people like love it.
Yeah, well, people are idiots.
That's why they do it. Like they get the nostalgia, and like when you hit on
Yeah,
one,
now they did that with Gilmore Girls. Now they're doing Will and Grace is coming back.
like everything is coming back. They're like used to have fans. Like I'm sure Seinfeld will be back, Cheers will be back, everything will be back.
Well, the one good news is Kirby Enthusiasm's coming back.
Yes.
I hope the Cosby Show comes back.
That was a good show. Lorenzo
Yeah.
writes,
You don't think it'll be an amazing show now that we know Dr. Huxtable's a rapist?
Lorenzo writes, "Hey, Bri, I would like to challenge you to see who has seen the least number of blockbuster movies over the last 20 years.
Oh, please.
It's been 5 years since I've been to the movies. I used to like them, but then had kids, and we aren't a movie family as the kids don't sit still." He said Titanic. Have you seen that, Bri?
I saw that, yeah.
He said he hasn't seen that. The 3D one with the blue people.
Nope.
He hasn't either.
Avatar.
Avatar? No, I never saw that.
Any Harry Potter, Star Wars, or Lord of the Rings?
No Harry Potter, no Lord of the Rings, but I've seen all the Star Wars.
He hasn't seen any of that. And he said he
I've
just
never
saw...
seen the Godfather movies. I've never seen Braveheart. I've never seen Pulp Fiction. I've never seen Dances with Wolves. I've never seen name some other
Scarface.
big movies. I saw half of Scarface.
Godfather.
He said
No,
Godfather already.
I just said that. No, I never saw those.
Goodfellas.
I've seen Goodfellas.
Okay. we can move on.
This game of name the movies that Bri hasn't seen is they should be a game show. Let me see.
The
he
questioner
hasn't-
brought it up, so
Has he seen the original Superman? Yeah. Survey says.
Lorenzo writes, "Hey, Bri, let's say the Knicks have a new halftime show called Horny's Halftime Handjobs, where Hornacek's daughter picks someone out of the crowd, gives them a check for $50K, and gives them a hand job right there at center court. Do you do it?"
well, this is the Knicks, so there's probably only like 40 people in the stands at this point.
No, they have a lot of people at every game. No matter how bad they are.
She is like a supermodel.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah, no, I know who she is. I mean, I've seen her picture.
I know who she is. Yeah.
I just meant, yeah, sure. How much?
$50K.
I don't really like hand jobs. We went over this once already.
Yeah.
That's why the question.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get it now. Yeah, why not?
He said, "What about for
I give the money to charity.
What about for $10K?"
Wait, hang on. Wait, here's the part I don't get. Really, Bri, if you got a check for $50,000, you'd give the whole thing to charity?
No,
because
I
you're
was just
rolling in
saying that.
cash and you're like,
No,
another $50,000. I'll just give that to charity.
No, I was just saying that. See if anybody was paying attention.
It was just a figure of speech.
Yeah,
I'll give it. I'll give that to charity. Oh, what charity? I was kidding.
The human fund.
Charity is that hooker that lives down the block.
Yeah.
Charity dances tonight.
And he said, "What about 200,000, but it's Jeff Hornacek?"
Yeah, probably not.
Lorenzo writes, "Hey, bro,
How much would it take for you to allow Jeff Hornacek to give you a hand job? And there's like 12,000 people watching.
Well, you guys are the Knicks fans. What would it take?
No, you. But I'm saying I'm not. Hornacek's down for it already. He already tweeted us.
I don't
He
think
doesn't
this.
strike me as the guy that would be down for it, but
I don't think this question
he's-
has much to do with being a Knicks fan, really."
Yeah. If you watch the Knicks games, you understand how much it would take for me to let the coach of the Knicks jack me off.
Lorenzo writes, "Hey, Bri, it's definitely easier to spot fake side boob. These girls are wearing tops with no material on the sides and no bra, therefore there is no support. So normally the titties would be flopping. However, the fake ones stand to attention like soldiers. There is no question in this email, and I know you hate that, but as the new star of the show, that's what you have to deal with."
Okay, so
I'm the new star of the show.
Yeah, because I
Well,
got
yeah,
fired for,
Oh, cool.
I don't know, I didn't like some movie or something, so I'm fired.
So Lorenzo, I think you're gonna have to send us examples. We need to because I can't picture this.
Lorenzo writes, Hey, Brian, Mark, how would you feel if Andrew and I started our own podcast reviewing each Brink podcast and we become millionaires off of it?
I like that idea.
I would be the first person to download that show.
Yeah, I would think that would be hilarious.
Yeah, first that would be hilarious, and second, if you're becoming millionaires, I'm sure we'd get along for the ride.
You're definitely our two funniest listeners, so that might be a funny podcast.
Steven's gonna murder you tonight.
Lorenzo
has it already.
Lorenzo writes, "Hey, Mark and Bri, have you guys tried lean? It's that drink that all the cool kids are getting wasted on these days. I think it has codeine in it."
No,
First of all, there's no way there's a drink that has codeine in it.
Maybe it's a slang name for like a homebrew thing.
Oh, okay. Let me try lean drink.
I hate all that shit.
While you look it up. Hey,
never
Brian,
heard of
Mark, at the start of the last Knicks podcast, Jay tried to start the show with a clip from the previous Brink podcast, which was Mark's live reaction to the Philly loss. The intentions were good, however, just before that buzzer beater blew, Mark's mind was a question about shit-stained baby wipes, which made it onto the Knicks podcast. I love inadvertent comedy. What score do you give Jay's audio editing abilities out of 10?
Hopefully it's better than his video editing ability.
Jay, you see, what I don't understand is you want to be a video editor. Can't you be an audio editor? You must get so much practice with our show.
I stopped editing these podcasts like 2 years ago.
Sorry, if you got a job being an audio editor, would that be good enough for your dream, or it has to be video?
I would much rather it be video.
So do you look down on audio editors?
A little bit.
Oh, I'm an audio editor. Oh, I thought about doing that, but then I didn't want to be a dipshit.
Lorenzo writes, "Hey, Mark, here's a scenario for you. It's a family day out, slightly windy, and you're on your way to an important event, a close family member's wedding. You're running late to the event. The kids are screaming, and wifey is cranky with you because you took that wrong turn back there. However, out of the corner of your eye, you spot a crisp $50 bill bouncing along the footpath in the opposite direction about 50 feet away. What do you do?"
$50. Yeah, I just go back and get it.
Yeah.
Why would you not go back and get $50?
Yeah, it's worth a little bitching for $50.
Yeah, whatever. It's $50. I'm going to go back. It's fine. No issue with doing that. I'll definitely do that. By the way, lean apparently does have codeine in it. It's a popular drink originated from the Houston Texans. Yeah, I'm surprised. Well, I guess I understand that if a football team gets knocked around all day, of course they want to drink codeine. How the fuck else how do you deal with getting like 300-pound men like beating the shit out of you for 2 hours?
Lorenzo writes, "Hey, Mark and Bri, just wanted your thoughts on the sign that a young kid had at the Knicks game versus Washington. It read, 'I'm going to beat cancer. All you have to do is beat the Wizards.' There's no way that kid came up with that on his own. That is the work of a parent trying to get some attention."
It's pretty good.
Why are these all Nick questions?
Didn't they lose to the Wizards?
Did they lose to everybody?
They haven't lost the cancer yet.
They did lose to the Wizards, right?
Yeah, they lost to the Wizards.
Okay, so that kid's dead. And it's all Melo's fault.
I'm sure people got offended by that also. They'd be like, "That's messed up. Why would you make fun of cancer?" And the kid's like, "But I actually beat cancer." Oh, I'm going to go shoot myself.
Rosero writes, "Isn't there a place you guys would recommend nobody going to?"
Chinatown.
Staten Island.
Wherever I am.
Tell of a time you guys almost shit your pants or a time you did in public.
I think I told the story on the show. I went for a run and I was over a mile from our house and I had to shit so terribly. And I was so close to either shitting on a neighbor's yard or knocking on their door at around 10 o'clock at night and asking them if I could shit in their house, but thought that'd be a weird way to welcome myself to the neighborhood. I don't know how I made it. And then the other 2 weeks ago, I had some stomach issue and I was like, oh, I don't know why I thought the kids were, my wife took the kids out so I can rest. But then I was like, oh, maybe I'll run the treadmill. Maybe that'll make me feel better. and then like at some point on the treadmill, I almost shit on the treadmill. I had to run to the bathroom so fast. So anyhow, when you have if that's coming on, you don't want to run.
Yeah, I could have told you that.
Yeah. Well, the Bri, the doctor say, do you happen to shit before bed? Yes. Don't.
He told me I should shit before bed with my shirt on.
I can tell from your sleep study that you don't wear a shirt. But you shit.
Yeah, Bri, did you have to shit in the middle of the night while you were taking your sleep test?
No.
Okay, because that would have been
the first
fun.
one I went to. I was like wide awake and I just tossed and turned all night.
Yeah, I
Finally,
don't think I
had to,
fell
yell
asleep.
to the lady. I was like, "Can you come get me so I could just get up and walk around?"
Do you wear a shirt when you do the sleep study?
They say wear whatever you normally wear to bed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't wear a shirt to sleep, but I wore one for that, which probably didn't help.
Yeah, so I don't normally wear one to sleep, but if I'm sleeping in a hotel, for some reason I always wear a shirt because I'm always a little bit grossed out by the sheets.
I always sleep in boxers, but I got like basketball shorts to sleep in that night.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
Is it weird? Because uncontrollably you have erections throughout the night. Is it weird when they stare at it?
Oh, they're staring.
You wake
I don't
up.
know. I woke up and one of the nurses was blowing me, so.
You wake up and the person's camera, like they're like, you just took a picture, didn't you? No.
I had a surprise fart at work once.
A surprise fart?
Yeah.
Like you were celebrating?
The worst.
Guess what, guys? What happened?
Those are horrible. Like when you cough or sneeze and a fart pops out.
No. It was a fart that was more than a fart.
Oh. When I'm shitting.
Yes.
So anyway, I've been thinking I'm working here pretty hard. I'm trying to pay to get a vagina. I was thinking that I should get a raise. Oops, just shat myself.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not going to do that raise right now. And if you don't get out of my office, you may not have a job here. But since you mentioned that whole part about being a woman, we're probably not going to fire you just yet because there's got to be laws against that.
Yeah, I would think there are.
I don't actually think there are, actually.
Well, I think there was, and Trump repealed them.
Yeah, I don't know if there actually are laws against, like, if I think it's like an unprotected class. Like, if you say, like, I want to be a woman, I'm going to have surgery, your boss will be like, you're fired. Why? Because you're going to be a woman. And they'd be like, well, that's fucked up. That's illegal. No, our country's just a bunch of assholes, so it's not illegal yet.
Actually, it's completely illegal.
It's legal. That's how it used to be. It used to be like job. Looking for a job. We need someone strong, smart, intelligent, good degree, but no blacks or Jews. So you could put that in the ad? Yeah. We could just be outright about that because it's the 50s, and that's just how it is.
Right. Brad, do you have any shitty work stories?
No, not at work. No.
Or just shitty
Oh no, it doesn't have to
stories
be at work. It was just the question was shit your pants.
Yes.
Oh, I don't. No, I don't. None recently that I can remember off the top of my head.
I will by the time you finish this question. What's the next question then?
Opinions on community college.
I think
college is. I mean, you get out of college what you put into it. Doesn't matter where you go. It's just the effort that you put in.
Thank you for stating something very obvious and cliche. Perfect.
No, I mean, I could see people thinking like you're going to get something out of college no matter what.
Well, I think he's asking also about community college because people look down on community college somewhat. I'd say, like, first off, if you do 2 years at a community college, you can probably transfer to a better school. So that can be very helpful. And if you actually develop a skill, like you learn computer science or programming, then it's probably very valuable. I have no skills. Do you have skills, Jay? Bri?
No, I have no skills.
Yeah, I'm starting to think I have absolutely no skills.
Yeah. But you're going to get that CPA, so you'll have some skills if you pass that, right?
Right.
Yeah, I don't have any skills. Bri?
No, none.
Yeah.
You have enough skills to get a 4-bedroom house.
Exactly, yeah. I have the exact number of I have enough skills for getting a a kingdom where I live with lots of servants.
Marks, when your son grows up and is a bullying victim, what will you tell him when he tells you, Dad, this 13-year-old kid keeps picking on me and always tries to fight with me? How will you handle that?
That's a really, really tough question, actually. Like, can you imagine it's like that's like really awful.
Because you're going to be so mad, but also the kid's 13.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to beat up the 13-year-old. I guess you can call their parent or talk to the school, but like that's a really, I mean, that could be.
You're not going to beat him up.
I can take a 13-year-old, and then you find out you can't.
And then you can't.
I would say, yeah, I'm just gonna I'm not gonna guess my son's gonna be this tough guy when he's older, where you can like, oh, why don't you use the crane kick against him? I guess I'll talk to him about it, and like hopefully there's no bully that ruins his childhood, because you could be this greatest parent ever. You're there for your kid all the time, and then you send him to school, and some other parent like drinks all the time as a total dickhead and sends his asshole kid to school, and his asshole kid ruins your kid's childhood, even though you're like the most loving parent. But dickhead across town decided not to be loving and decided to like smack his kid around, so your kid gets smacked also.
Yep.
Sounds like my childhood.
Sounds like life.
Yeah. We had like an insane family that lived down the block. It was like an entire family of bullies, and there was 5 kids, so like every generation got their very own bully.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Did you ever find out what the hell was wrong over there? Like, was the dad like an alcoholic, or?
The dad was a drug dealer. He had like a beeper van. He was selling drugs out of the beeper van.
Did you grow up in The Wire?
The mom looked like she was on every drug ever. I don't even know. The whole situation was just, I went over to that house once, and it was disturbing. I mean, the kid in my grade was wearing a Guns N' Roses shirt in like 3rd grade, I think. Like,
Okay.
I don't know. It just tells you
that really was the least tough thing you could have said about him.
Well, in 3rd grade, that's pretty tough.
You
It would have been tougher to say he was in Guns N' Roses.
Yeah. In 3rd grade, he knew all the lyrics to Night Train.
I don't know.
He knew that Mr. Brownstone was heroin when we were in 3rd grade.
By 5th grade, he could moonwalk. That was
Okay, well, I mean, that part was a bad example, but the fact that
they were tough kids. By the middle of 4th grade, he loved popular rock.
sometimes I really don't like you guys.
Tell us more about the family that tormented you with their love of alternative music. What else did he do?
Beat everybody up.
Did he have a temporary tattoo that said Metallica?
Did he have a jean jacket?
Rosera writes, how about when you're, actually the older one did, how about when your daughter gets older and tells you, Dad, I really have a huge crush on this boy. I really like him. How will you handle that?
Do you think we should do an entire separate podcast for Brink about this family that lives near you? I want to hear about more about the family that lived near you. I feel like there's a lot of stories here.
The sister in the family was the only one that seemed like semi well adjusted. She actually like did it right in school and wasn't a bully.
She was Ivanka Trump.
Yeah, and so you're like, oh, at least there's one good story out of that. But then she ended up marrying her cousin.
Oh, this is going well. As long as she can hold off on that whole incest thing, she'll be well adjusted.
The younger one that was in my sister's grade, he got arrested for having sex on top of the middle school in the middle of the day. And when the cops came, he was running away from them through the playground naked. And I guess he got tackled.
They probably haven't end up being the pillars of the community later on in life. But wouldn't it be great if Jay's like one day like reading online and goes, "Hey, that dude that like terrorized me in 3rd grade started Instagram"?
I thought you were gonna say he edited the new Star Wars movie.
That too. That would be that'd be so much better. No, you know what it would be? It'd be that the guy that bullied me, he's now editing audio. So his life's been ruined, basically. God, I mean, I could never lower myself to that. I mean, that's got to be pretty awful. He's gotten. I guess there's karma in life.
Eros writes, guys, my friend has been living in his New York City apartment for 28 years, and his landlord wants to kick him out to renovate the building and have new tenants to pay more. He is offering him $30K to leave, but it's a location where easily people pay him $2,500 for rent. Should he take it? What stories do you know about abusive landlords?
I know actually. Well, I had a coworker who's since not working with me anymore. But she has a similar thing. I'm not sure they're trying to buy her out of her lease because they're trying to do development in her neighborhood. And I think the last offer to her, first they offered $10,000, and then I think they upped the offer. And like, you really want to be one of the last tenant holdouts.
Yeah. Because
then they go to like $100,000.
Yeah, you could get a lot more than 30. Definitely hold out.
Yeah, definitely hold out. Oh, and if my daughter comes to me later on and she's like, I have a crush on a boy, and she's a teenager, I will ask her about it and be normal about it, because that's gonna happen. Like, what am I gonna do? I have a crush on a boy. You're never gonna leave your room.
Yeah.
I raised you to be a lesbian. What are you talking about, boys?
That's it. We're getting you a dick. Yeah. What would you guys? You guys don't have daughters, but if you had a daughter and she was 13 years old and you said, I like a boy at school, what would you say?
Said,
that's good.
Yeah, that's nice. Get his number when you're 18.
Yeah.
I hate you, Daddy. You never loved me. I hope you die.
Yeah, I heard that yesterday too.
Guess what? I will one of these days.
Yeah, I probably will soon.
Did your sister? Okay, Bri, do you have a sister or brother? Or you're
no only
your
child.
only child? I think I knew that. Jay, you have a sister, obviously.
Yeah.
Did your sister?
We just heard about her.
Yeah. Did your sister and your mom fight a lot growing up?
Yeah, but I think she fought more with my dad.
Oh. Generally, my sister fought my mom all the time growing up. My mom also was a bit crazy too. Mm-hmm. But generally, they say like girls, like when they hit start getting the teenage years, they become like nightmares. They fight with their parents. They're so mean to their mom, and I'm like, my wonderful daughter is going to be evil to us.
Yeah.
And then they're nice again when they hit like 20.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, yeah, which is going to be wonderful.
Okay, last couple questions. We're just about out of time. Ron.
Jay's cutting about 30 to 40 questions off the show because he doesn't value our listeners. Go on.
Jesus Christ. Ron writes, Jason, when are we making our YouTube channel? I said after the CPA, so a couple more months. Ron writes, what do you guys do when you want to fart at work?
Jay shits his pants.
Yeah, apparently I just
don't worry, I'm going to cover for this by like releasing the shit. I try to do a silent one.
My desk is near the bathroom, so I'll just scoot over to the bathroom.
Yeah, I go to the bathroom because I tried to do a silent one once, and it was silent, but it was deadly. And then I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
What's that smell? I found a dead squirrel under my desk.
Because it's always the second that happens that somebody comes over to ask you something. Andrew writes, do the aunts at Marc's house request a menu for meals for the following week just to make sure it's appropriate for their dietary needs?
No, I don't have any kosher aunts, but they should. I mean, like, might as well. They're part of my life.
Do the towns?
So since the last time we took out the aunts, they've basically been non-existent. There was one like overnight where my kids left a piece of pasta in the middle of the living room, and in the morning it was covered in ants, and there must have been 1,000 ants over the piece of pasta.
Well, then they're not gone. You're just not finding them.
Well, I understand they're not gone, but anyway, we wiped those ants out, and since then I have not seen any ants in the house. And I understand the ants still exist, but or most of them still exist, but they're not coming in the house because they're so you can't miss them when they're around. Well, so I'm sure. I think the winter that slows them down anyway, and they hibernate to like gain strength to attack my house in the spring.
Yeah, they're coming up with strategies for the summer.
Yeah, no, they're like, oh, you know what's even better? We're just going to invade his side of the bed.
Does the townspeople where Marc lives stare at him because he's always picking fights with the local library?
You know, what's the best part is that, like, having done that, I still go back to the library all the time, and I'm like, I swear the women look at me like a little weird. They're like, I'm just checking out books and still have to talk to them, interact with them. They're part of my community. I have to see all the time, and yet I picked a fight with them.
Is Jay waiting for the black mold in his bathroom to suddenly turn into Venom from Spider-Man and take over his body? It'll probably be something like that, only instead of being Venom, it'll be cancer.
Jay's going to write a very short comic book.
Once upon a time, this black mold took over Jay's body. Then it was cancer and he died at the end.
That was one of the greatest. You remember the Family Guy bit about that? Like whatever's going on in town.
Oh, with toxic waste.
Yeah.
The
mayor, Adam West, rubs himself in toxic waste because he has to get like powers to help the town. And the doctor's
yeah.
you have cancer, but I thought I'd get superpowers. Why would that work? Why would you do that? Something like that.
Yeah.
It was such a great. That's when the show was really good.
What's harder to work out, the CPA or how many profiles Steven has?
That's a good question, but I don't think he wants an answer. Go on. Let's do a couple more and call it a show.
Okay. Liam writes, guys, let's say I'm a 21-year-old full-time student and want to take out a credit card. Which would be the best? I would recommend not taking out a credit card.
Why?
I recommend taking out someone else's name.
When you're that young and you get a credit card, you're just going to charge shit and ruin your life like me.
Yeah, I mean, they say generally if there's anything in between you and like basically anything in between money to like cashier, you will spend more money.
Yeah.
It's like when you like do something like in a casino and they give you chips. The only reason they give you chips is because you will spend more money because you have something else that doesn't feel like money.
Right.
Right.
That said, I would say don't get Bank of America. They're evil.
If you want a Capital One, they give pretty good reward. It's like 2 points for every dollar you spend. It ends up being basically like you get 2% back on everything you spend.
Let's see. Should I stop at my bachelor's degree and look for a job or continue and get my master's? In other words, are my chances to find a decent job better with a master's or bachelor's? I hear people with PhD degrees having a hard time finding work. Well, sometimes I think people go right to their PhDs without having any work experience. And you can't, like, if you're going that high, you should get a job first. Because if you have a PhD and no work experience, like, what are people going to do? You're going to be overqualified for an entry-level job, but you also have no work experience. So, like, you kind of screw yourself.
Well, yeah. PhDs also, for the most part, like they're only good for getting jobs teaching the subject you just learned.
Right. Yeah, I would say work for a year or two, and then go for your master's, or get your master's while you're starting your first job.
I think you should work first. Like work for a year or two, get some real world experience, and the master. You'll be much more marketable after the master if you already have work experience too.
Right. Let's see. Name a time someone rips you off like a salesman and you found out after. When I bought my new TV, the people at PC Richards said I needed this like $200 surge protector thing. And then I ended up getting it, and then I thought about it. And I'm like, I really think I could just get a power strip. So I brought it back. And like 3 of them ganged up on me and said, no, if you got this TV, you really need the surge protector, blah, blah, blah. So I hooked it up, and it was actually making my TV turn on and off. And so I took it out, and I put it in a regular power strip, and my TV's been fine ever since.
Yeah, the surge protector thing, that was a total scam. I mean, they get they get like a higher commission for selling like scams to you.
Yeah, add-ons and stuff.
Yeah. I can't think of anything in particular where I got like. I'm sure there's things that got scammed, but nothing that like jumps out at me. Bri?
Yeah. I know. No, I don't think. I mean,
do you want to think about it? Like,
not really like a scam, but I mean, I just like I bought my old bed at Sleepy's. It was a piece of shit, and it wasn't really a scam. It was just shitty product.
I mean, I bought shitty products before, but it's not like a scam. I just fall for like the best. I fell for the dumbest one. One of the dumbest ones I fell for was the. Do you remember the Vibram 5-finger shoes?
Yeah.
Like there's
What?
for people that don't remember it, it's basically these shoes that are like really thin, so you're practically running barefoot, but with a little bit like in between, a little bit of like material in between, and they have fingers
Oh, I have
on
a pair of those.
they have the toes basically.
Yeah, I have a pair of toe shoes. I have a pair of those.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you run a lot?
No, never.
Why'd you buy them?
I thought they were cool. I was at the store one day and I was like, "Oh, those look cool," and I tried them on and they kind of fit. And I think I wore them for like 2 weeks, and then I don't even know where they are anymore.
They were like $100.
I don't think they were that much.
The ones I got were like $100. There was a book called Born to Run, and like the book like talked about how amazing these things were basically as part of the book, and I fell for the stupidness of it, and there was a class action lawsuit thereafter,
Really?
which I think I paid $100. I think I got a check back for like $20.
There was a lawsuit on those?
PlayStation suit.
There was what?
There was a lawsuit on those?
Yeah, I don't even know what the lawsuit was about because like if I see a pair of toe shoes and I buy them, I don't know what you sue about. But apparently they made some claims that were not true. I don't even know what the claims were. I probably should have just said I bought those because I'm a moron and you don't have to give me money back. But they gave me some money back anyway.
They gave you like 35 cents back.
Yeah, those class actions are ridiculous. When I lived in Stuytown and they were jacking up rents illegally, we were in a class action lawsuit, and the doc and I ended up getting back enough to buy a couple handles of Captain Morgan.
Well, the thing is, like, part of the reason for the lawsuit is that if they don't sue them, then there's no one's going to, like, they're just going to screw people over and not be punished.
Right, but the punishment's always, like, it's worth it for them to scam people because the punishment's never, like, those big banks, they screw people out of, like, $5 trillion and they're like, oh, well, we're going to get you. Here's a $2 billion penalty. We're like, okay, well, that was worth it.
Well, that's the government coming after the banks and being like, you can rob us, but you have to give a little bit. You have to give us our cut, and that's bull. But there's a lot of things where like a company, and I don't have a really good example, but like a company will do something where like, oh, you know what's a good example is like your phone bill. Like Verizon will charge you like, oh, we thought you wanted that extra service. I never signed up for it. Oh, we've been charging you $10 a month for the last couple of months. You didn't notice. I guess we'll refund. Like they just add on things and screw you around your bill, and then they have a class action, and then Verizon has to stop doing that practice.
Right, even though they collected money like the whole time, they're just like, yeah, don't do that anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, like Verizon sues. I mean, the lawyer sued. Verizon gets kind of screwed, and like, well, we can't have to find some other way to cheat people.
Right.
Yeah, like I was in some thing for Ticketmaster for some class action lawsuit, and I got an email like the reward is I get all these vouchers for free concerts, and then so you have to go to this website. They don't announce when any of the stuff is, but every time you go there, everything is sold out, and it's only like general admission for like bullshit stuff that I've never even heard of.
Yeah, they probably have like 5 actual tickets for the good stuff.
Yeah.
I got one in the mail. It was a class action lawsuit. Have you gotten a pre-recorded phone call, about winning a cruise in the years 2011 to 2012? I'm like,
let me check my phone records.
Yeah, I'm like, I know I've gotten that call. And they're like, is it twice? Is it 3 times or less or more than 3 times? I'm like, I don't know. I'll check my diary for this. Like, how the fuck am I going to even know this? I'm like, I know I've gotten that call. I don't know if it was 2011, 2013. I don't know when that hell happened. I don't know why I even get money back from them calling me about that.
I told you about the magazine scam, right?
What was the magazine scam?
Where they say like, you get 6 months free from like any 3 or 4 magazines of your choice, and then cancel.
Oh yeah.
And then so I did that, and then I canceled, and they basically just said no. And I'm like, well, what do you mean no? And like, well, we're not canceling you. And I'm like, yeah, cancel it. And they did, for years. I came back from college and I had a 4-foot high stack of all these magazines, and I kept writing them like,
what magazine was it?
I was getting like Rolling Stone, Time, I think like Spin and Maxim, I think.
I love the fact they wouldn't cancel it.
Yeah, and
what's a magazine?
Well, the thing is, I think what they were doing is that they were getting ad revenue from subscriptions. So it was worth it to them to send me magazines knowing I wasn't going to pay for it just because they could, add a subscription to their list.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I think that's probably true. It's like they can say like, well, circulation numbers are really high because we just mail it to random people.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. What, 2 more questions?
I was going to say 0 more questions.
Let's do 2 more and we'll call the show.
How about 0 more?
Oh, do 2
How about
more.
one more?
One more. We're compromising.
Okay, 1 more question.
Whatever question. This better be a good one, Jay.
We didn't do any Steven questions. If you could light one person on fire without consequences, who would it be?
Did he do like another like? Could you shoot someone? He did the exact same question like 3 times already.
Well,
if I could light someone on fire with no consequences, oh, that'd be exciting. I always want to light people on fire. Nothing I've thought about like doing more is I want to like light people on fire.
well, Steven's gonna murder you.
Bri. Is there anyone that you want to light on fire, consequence free?
Julian Edelman.
I knew you were going to be the most random person.
Who is that?
He plays for the Patriots.
He's on the Patriots.
Are you
He's
a big Atlanta Falcon fan, or what?
He's the original pussy grab. He's the original pussy grabber.
Explain.
He got arrested on Halloween in Boston like 5 years ago for just walking up to a girl and just basically fingering her without asking her for consent.
Oh.
And nobody talks about it. Got swept under the rug.
Oh, that's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's part 1 of our expose on Julian Edelman.
All right. So thanks for listening, everybody. thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com. Brinkofsanity3 on Twitter. 631-676-1181 is the voicemail. Or you could Skype The Brink of Sanity. I think that's it. Leave an iTunes review. And we have, I think, 3 shirts left.
What did we learn today?
Jay's cranky.
I learned who Julian Edelman is.
Jay is definitely very cranky. Oh, next. Oh no, never mind. Okay, we can end the show.
Oh.
Oh no, I nothing to add. Okay, Jay's cranky. Jay hates our listeners for writing questions. Go on.
Lies. All right.
And apparently, between now and next show, I might have a finger up my butt.
Oh, that's right.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end.